Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing tonight? My name is Matt Jarbo. Welcome to Hollywood After Dark here on 3 Buck Theater. Sorry I'm not on camera. It's been a exceptionally rough day with the loss of my friend. I talked about it a bit on Twitter. My friend Marlon passed away from COVID. He caught it while on a trip, and he had kidney problems, and it just kind of swept through him. And it's been a rough day. So I just kind of like felt like I wanted to kind of come and just joke about stuff and talk about stuff, and we'll see what's going on. Talk about some whatever's going on with Hollywood today. There's the Ray Fisher stuff. There's Beavis and Butthead. Apparently, Rocky 4 is going to get a director's cut. That I've never seen Rocky, so I mean, cool, I guess. But let's go here at the chat. Garrick here says that Angry Joe uploaded his Last of Us 2 review. Spoiler, he didn't like the story. I understand that. So far I'm enjoying the story. I haven't gotten to the end where apparently there's some huge, like, massive fuck you moment. But I don't know. So far I'm enjoying the story and I want to see more with it. Let's see here. Garrick also asks, why did Ray Fisher wait so long to unload on Joss Whedon? He should have made all this public back in 2017 when JL was in production. Well, the truth of the matter is, so when Ray Fisher was at Comic-Con, that was Comic-Con 2017. That was before JL came out. That was also before the Me Too movement. So there is just as a timeline on that front. Additionally, you also had him go and, he's talking about that now. People are saying an NDA is expired. Maybe it is. Maybe 2 years, 3-year deal. We have no idea. But he's not bringing receipts. And in this day and age, with all the cancel culture shit going on, you got to have receipts. If you don't have that, you're making a huge mistake. If he's got it and he drops it, let's say tomorrow or by Friday or something like that, it's an entirely different experience. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. But in the meantime, it will be very fascinating to see where things go, because I'll put it to you like this. When Harvey Weinstein was hit, when he was Me Too'd, the proto Me Too case, really, a lot of people came out and attacked him. A lot of people came out and backed that statement. We are not seeing that with this, which should tell you something. When Andy Signore was Me Too'd, just like a couple of days after Harvey Weinstein, a lot of people came out and dogpiled on Andy Signore. We are not seeing that. Other cast members like Alan Tudyk have come out and they've defended Joss Whedon pretty much. But no one is attacking Joss Whedon, which either says Joss Whedon has a lot of clout and people are afraid to go against him, or no one has bad stories. Now, I don't know. I don't know any of it. I talked about it earlier on a live stream and a lot of people agreed with me. Some people didn't agree with me. It is what it is, and that's okay. But when you come out and you make these claims, when you come out and you make these attacks and you don't actually have a lot of the other, and you're not providing that information, it becomes a bit of an issue. Red Comment says, oh, sorry, man. No, thank you very much. I appreciate that. The True 31 says, hey, man, hope all is well. Sorry about your friend. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. It's just been a tough day. So is Columbus being canceled? What do you mean by Columbus? Like Columbus Day? I know a lot of people want to cancel Columbus Day. They call it Indigenous Peoples Day. Let's see here. So when can one get to calling it? I'm not too sure about necessarily that one yet, man. We'll have to wait and see. What am I hearing? I'm hearing like my phone interference. What the fuck? I might. It really just depends, dude. We'll see how I'm feeling. Let's see here. I need to watch Rocky. It's a Stallone classic. Yeah, I agree. Everyone tells me Rocky movies are good. Everyone tells me that I should check them out, and I will one day. If they're on streaming, maybe I'll sit down. Like I know tonight, I'm only going to be on for like an hour. Then I'm just going to go lay down in bed and watch Unsolved Mysteries because they have the new series that just came out today, and I want to see it. I was going to watch it this morning, but then I realized that I don't think my two daughters would appreciate me watching, informative murder porn in front of them. And if you don't know where that term comes from, it's from an episode of South Park called Informative Murder Porn, where everyone in South Park starts watching true crime documentaries on IDTV. And it ends up becoming a weird sexual thing for a few of them, which is really funny too, because I'm in like when you want to know the primary person who I guess you could say imbibes or absorbs true crime content, it's women actually. So that to me is quite fascinating. All right, let's see here. What's going on, Nate? If Amber Heard isn't fired, would that surprise me? No, wouldn't surprise me at all. There's been no movement on that front. But then again, there's been no movement on Aquaman 2 as far as production wise. We just know that there's a release date. I would not be surprised if Amber Heard is not fired. In fact, I said from the get-go, from the outset, that she would never be fired. She's not going to be fired. People out there don't want to believe me on that one. They want to think she's going to be fired. But then again, like there's a lot of that emotional connectivity to Johnny Depp, and they think he got screwed over by her, which he did. But again, Hollywood is never going to go back on that. Right. So, for example, Jeffrey Rush, who, was Captain Barbossa in Pirates of the Caribbean movies, when Me Too happened, he got Me Too'd. He did. He got Me Too'd. There was an Australian newspaper that ran this accusation about him. And he, it's not true. It was false. He sued them, and he just won, or a while back, he won $2.9 million. Then today, news came out that he had in fact won the that the magazine or the newspaper had filed an appeal and they lost the appeal. So they've got to pay him, 2.9 million Australian dollars because they accused him of sexual assault without any evidence or any actual journalism. And he got them for defamation, which maybe the burden of proof is lesser in Australia. In the United States, it's a pain in the ass, man. So it's an absolute pain in the ass. It's so difficult to get to sue someone for defamation in this country. It really is. Hulk Hogan was able to do that on Gawker, but there was a literal sex tape involved in that front. They had a literal sex tape that they refused to take down because they called it like fair use. When it served no journalistic integrity or ethical integrity to post a Hulk Hogan sex tape, other than they just wanted to be massive dicks. So there's that. Let's see here. What do I think of the 2011 Beavis and Butthead revival? It had its moments of being good, but what it lacked was what probably this will lack, which is music videos. If there's no music videos, like it really just depends on. You know what it's probably going to be? I'll tell you what they're going to do this time. They're not going to do music videos. They're going to do like TikTok videos. That's probably what they're going to laugh at. They're going to laugh at like, they're going to sit there and go, Bobes. I can't do it. I used to be able to do, I think this is going to be TikTok videos or like social media posts. They're going to respond to like viral clips is what they're going to do this time around. Because those are kind of like, I don't want to say those are the new music videos, but it's the viral content of the time. Whereas back in the early 90s, when Beavis and Butthead came out, the music videos were kind of like the viral content. If a music video was really popular, it would run on MTV all the time. It would run on all the other music stations all the time. So, and then they made fun of it. And then the 2011 revival didn't have any of that. And while it focused more on the story and it focused on the characters, and I liked that they made fun of Twilight and a bunch of other stuff, MTV, I feel kind of like neutered the show. I do. I feel MTV neutered the show, and it just wasn't as good as it could have been. However, Comedy Central, from what I read, it has done they've ordered 2 seasons of the show. So I think that should be pretty good. Let's see here. Going through, hold on. Didn't it concern you going to Last of Us 2 that Neil Druckmann is an Anita Sarkeesian supporter? No, not at all. Not at all. I'll tell you why. Because his writing on The Last of Us Part 1, Uncharted 4, impressed me enough with the world building, the dialogue, the character development, and the story that, I don't give a shit about if he likes her or not. I know he supports her. I don't care, man. Like, I'm at a point in my life, Garrick, I don't care about that. I'm legitimately at a point in my life where I know it's not something I need to do, but like, I almost feel like I owe it to Anita to like say, I'm sorry for not approaching my criticism of you better because I handled it terribly in the beginning. And as a result of that, I was trying to be edgy and I was stupid. for how I handled it, because the conversation, I didn't give it the proper respect that it deserved. I didn't give Anita the proper respect that she deserves. Now, when I say that, allow me to clarify, because people take that out of context. I have said frequently for years, when it comes to Anita Sarkeesian, people need to give her the respect she deserves for the villain she is. And I say that, and I say it because I don't want people to underestimate her. And they always do. All these commentary channels, all these fly-by-night Twitter hot takes always takes Anita for granted. They always underestimate her, and they never look at the big picture. They never look at what she's actually doing. They only look at her hot takes in her videos or in her tweets or things like that. They don't pay attention, which is one of the reasons why she's able to use all of that in order to stay afloat and to stay where she's at. There's been one time with Anita that she screwed up so badly, it almost, had it not been called out when it was called out, because somebody caught it, it would have screwed her. It would have financially destroyed her. It was back right after, this is 2016, right after Donald Trump got elected. Feminist Frequencies started going to political rallies, broadcasting political like live streams from political rallies, started getting heavily political and trying to talk about going and like how, influencing the political process and all that kind of stuff. They're a 501c3 nonprofit. They are legally barred from political affiliations. They are legally barred from politics, essentially, from getting involved in politics, essentially. And that was called out. And as soon as that was called out, they ceased and desist immediately. But had that not been called out, had that been something that was monitored and logged and recorded, then they would have had Anita dead to rights in regards to that action, which could have effectively been used with enough information to take out Feminist Frequency entirely, or at least to remove its 501c3 nonprofit status, which would have effectively bankrupted the company. And at this point, it relatively is bankrupt. They're not making any cash. It's really, I think at this point, it's just like Anita and like one or two other people that are on staff. It's nowhere near what it used to be. She's not pulling in $400,000 a year anymore. Like I looked through their financials. I didn't even look through their financial return this year. And I usually do because I'm just curious. But when I say like the criticism should have been handled differently, that is my regret, because I was a moron and I wasn't thinking about the long term. And that is something that you don't really think about at first when you're on the internet, right? Hindsight's 2020 for a reason. And 2020, the year, makes a lot of sense to do that, to kind of like take that stuff into consideration. I do not like Anita as a person. I just want to make that abundantly clear. I do think she's a grifter. I do think she has played so many people for so many years. And at this point, she's just exhausted all of her resources and she's eventually going to have to go away. But she won't, because people always will find a way to attack her. And when they attack her, she's able to use that to drum up more cash. She knows how to trigger people in order to play it for more money. And we've seen this. We've seen this with certain people, that they play the victim all the time, especially here on YouTube. Come on, we've seen this. They play the victim all the time and they use it to get money from their audience. And that's exactly what Anita does. But Anita gets it through corporations like Intel. And she gets it by people like Neil Druckmann, who prop her up and who support her. Dyson Sweden, who fly her out in order to instruct the development team on how to better appropriately put women into a World War II shooter. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what she does. That is her grift. She goes and she gives presentations and she makes a lot of fucking money doing presentations, because that money probably doesn't go through the 501c3. It probably goes through another organization of which we don't have its name. That's all I'm saying, man, is like, you gotta, with people like that, you've got to pay attention to the big picture. All right, thank you. Elrack here, $5. Thank you very much, man. Says, I just watched a Nostalgia Critic review of Alita and it was awesome. You would like a sequel. Dude, me too, man. Me too. I loved Alita Battle Angel. I thought it was one of the better films of 2019. I wish it was on streaming because I would watch it. I didn't have the money to get the 4K when it came out. So I'm waiting to see if I can get that at a cheaper price. But thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate it. $5 super chat from Voice of the Emperor. Thank you very much, dude. Says, what do you think about Rian Johnson being branded as a Judas of Hollywood? If it happened. I don't know what you mean by that. Are you talking about, like, he's not really the Judas of Hollywood. I mean, he's kind of a Hollywood, I don't want to say Hollywood golden boy, but he's, people like him in Hollywood, so I don't see how that'd be the thing. Let's see here. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right, I'm kind of going through here real quick. Okay, Bob's Burgers or Family Guy? Absolutely Bob's Burgers. I'm currently going through another watch through that right now. Anthony, yeah, I talked about Beavis and Butthead already. I'm really excited. Gongaga? What's up, dude? How's Australia? How's it treating you? What do you think about Shane Dawson being canceled? I will fully admit I do not know all that is going on with that. I have not actively looked into that, but from what I've seen, just the stuff with like Willow Smith and the stuff with some of the things he said in his podcast and some. I mean, look, man, I've said some pretty horrendous shit. Like I've said some really dumb things, and I've said them. Like, sometimes, most of the time is meant to be in jest. Other times I was like just out of pure ignorance and stupidity. And it shit that fucking haunts me. People bring it up all the time, So like, I fully expect to one day get canceled over it, to be honest with you. And it's stuff I'm not proud of and I regret it. And it's the worst mistake of my life. So I don't really, but you have to understand at the same time, like there's like a time when a lot of the things I said came out. There's a lot of other Shane Dawson stuff happened at roughly around the same time. So it's like, we don't know. I don't know what he's done. I heard what he said. I don't agree with what he said. If he's telling jokes, it's really terrible humor. I mean, like I said stupid stuff trying to be funny, stuff that was, insensitive as all hell, trying to be funny. And so I get that angle of it. I just, people will take it and spin it. But I think Shane will. I don't know. I think that Toddy Westbrook thing, if what she said is true, and I only know this from what I've read people say about it. I haven't watched the video yet. If what she said is true, then I think the manufacturing of drama to take down James Charles is like way worse than the other stuff. But I don't know everything, so don't take my word on it. E equals MCU says, to be fair, Ray Fisher didn't have much of a career, so he's got nothing to lose going after Whedon. That's true, but he has everything to gain off of Zack Snyder's Justice League. So that's why I don't get it. Why attack that when you have everything to gain from what's going forward? Let's see. What if Beavis and Butthead being a gamer? That'd be funny. Like, Beavis? Call of Duty? Yeah, dirty. God, my butthead is terrible. So you see, you'd be more interested in this is coming from Red comment here, in Aeon Flux or the Max coming back. I would love to see more Aeon Flux, but not that crap ass movie. Not the crap ass movie from 2002. No, not that. That was a bad movie. It was a very, very, very 2003. That was a very, very, very bad movie. But I love the show. And Peter Chung needs to do more animation, 100%. And the Max was really good too. Let's see here. Have I watched Angry Joe's review in The Last of Us 2? No, because I haven't finished The Last of Us 2 yet, so I haven't done that yet. Okay. Hold on. Have I ever met Shoe on Head or Chris Ray Gun? Yes, multiple times. I've hung out with them at VidCon together, 2017 and 2018. They didn't go 2019. That'd be Shoe on Head, and Armored Skeptic didn't go then. Chris Ray Gun I've hung out with in Seattle when he was here for PAX. And then I hung out with Shu. Briefly chit-chatted with Shu when I was in Milwaukee in September of 2018 for MythCon. And that was the last time I saw her. And honestly, I think given everything that's happened with her recently, I probably won't see Shu again unless I somehow find myself in Long Island, which is where she's at. So I don't foresee that happening. I don't foresee that happening anytime soon. But no, I have no problem with Shu. I do like Shu, and I think Chris Ray Gun is an exceptionally nice human being, even if he is a snarky bitch on the internet. Let's see here. Alita Battle Angels on HBO Max. Oh, okay, cool. Well, there you guys go. Tell me that one. I didn't know that. It's because I can't get HBO Max on my TV. So I only watch it on my I watch it in my bedroom, but I haven't looked. I watched I'll Be Gone in the Dark, the first episode of that the other night. That was really good. So, okay, what separates Shane Dawson's humor from James Gunn's jokes on Twitter? Gunn managed to get his directing job back at Disney. Yeah. Well, and the thing with that too is like for one, Shane Dawson, he's okay. You have to look at it like this. Shane Dawson is not like James Gunn, where there's corporate backing. All right, Shane Dawson did like a 9-part documentary series on fucking Jake Paul, and I watched it like a moron. And each episode got like 20 million views, and they were like 30, 40-minute long episodes, right? And so he made just bank off of that stuff. He made absolute bank off of that. His Tana Mojo TanaCon series, millions upon millions upon millions of views. His conspiracy theory videos, millions upon millions upon millions of views. The dude he's worth millions of dollars. And he has been for a long time. He is fine. He is absolutely fine. And he also has enough of an audience of people that are going to sit there and like defend him. He'll be fine. Whether or not you like that, that's up to you. But like realistically, he's got the money to survive for a long period of time. He'll be okay. So let's see. How many subscribers do I think YouTube TV will lose for the recent price increase? A fair amount, if I'm being fair. They're going to lose a fair amount of subscribers on that when that thing goes down. I don't know how much, but they're going to lose quite a bit. They're raising it from $50 to $65. Like, why? I've thought about getting YouTube TV. I ain't paying. I was like, $50 is high, dude. What I want, this is going to sound terrible, but what I want is just a la carte television, man. I don't need 800, 900 channels of where I only watch like 4 or 5. Give me fucking like, allow me to pick $20 a month, Comedy Central, FX, FXX, AMC, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, like Sci-Fi Channel, USA, I think like what Paramount Network, because they put out some shit that I like, like just give me an a la carte of like sci-fi action stuff and I'm done. Like the news channels are kind of included. So like, yeah, give me C-SPAN or MSNBC or something. I don't even I used to listen to a lot of MSNBC. I haven't listened to them in a while. I feel better actually as a result of not listening to MSNBC for a while, but we need a la carte. How far am I into The Last of Us Part 2? I am at the end, I believe, of day 2 in Seattle. So I don't know how far that is, but I'm really liking it. Like I've had a couple jaw-dropping moments and I've had a couple like seriously insane kills. Here, I'll show you guys one of the kills that I clipped it and I put it up on the Twitter sphere the other night. Cause I thought I was super badass. Super badass. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. Let me just share my screen. Share the audio. Hold on. There we go. Let me just double check that. Okay. So this is just a clip of what I did the other night. I'm sorry, the quality is crap. Booyah! 3 shots, 3 kills. Oh yeah. Like that was fun. It's a fun game. It's a very fun game. I would like to, I'm really, really bummed that the multiplayer isn't done yet. I know it's coming. Cause I just thought like in the open world segments, imagine a battle royale where you are absolutely trying to survive. And it's all about like resource management. And it's going to be a lot of like up close combat, like QC, close quarter combat, CQC. So like a lot of that and a lot of like, you're going to get fucking popped from a bow and arrow from like a ways away, but people are going to have to get a real good shot off on you. And you're going to have to ask yourself, do you want to craft that Molotov, or do you want to craft that med kit, that sort of thing? What was my reaction to that death? I knew it was coming, but my jaw still dropped. You know, I didn't want it to happen, but like when it was kind of set in motion, I went like, oh, wow. And I thought that it was, I thought that it was brutally well done, because we don't know at the time, like I know why it happened because it was also spoiled for me. But at the time I didn't know, like, you know, like if you don't know why it's happening and you're in that moment, you can just feel like all the air getting sucked out of that room when he announces who he is, you know, and you can just feel all the, like everything else, like getting sucked out of that room. And then it's like, oh crap. And then from there, you know, it just goes off the hook. Do I think Cyberpunk 2077 will get delayed again? No. They're aiming for November, because that's going to be a PS5, Xbox Series X launch. It's going to aim to be a launch title for the system, which is awesome, because I'm looking at Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I'm looking at Cyberpunk 2077, and those are going to be my launch titles for the PS5, PS Fizzy, and then that's going to be what I want to get. So that's what I'm looking for, and then I just want Cyberpunk 2077. You know what I mean? Like I gotta sell some shit so I can buy a bigger TV. That's what I gotta do. Or I gotta get more of these super chat. I'm kidding. No, I gotta sell some shit. Elrac here, $5. Says, what are your thoughts on Leafy's return and Gabby's meltdown on the platform? And what do you have a clue about Dr. Disrespect ban on Twitch? That's a loaded question, but let me try to run through it. So Leafy, like, I don't know why Leafy came back. I just don't get why Leafy came back. The dude was making, in 2016, he was getting like 4 million views a day. 4 million a day. That is several tens of $1,000s a month. You know, Leafy is legitimately a millionaire. He is legitimately a millionaire. And from my understanding, he invested a lot of that in like crypto or something, or he did some investing in the last couple of years, and he's like made more money. So the dude's like, he's locked and loaded right now, probably for cash, and he's probably bored, and he misses being a creator. Now there's also some prime drama happening with H3H3 and Keemstar. And I think Leafy hates both H3H3 and Keemstar. So he's kind of coming back in on that one. So that's about the best the best I can guess on that one. I don't pay attention much to Leafy. I find his content to be abhorrent. But for Gabby's meltdown, that was weird to me. Because when you have a content creator, like, you know, look, every content creator absolutely bitches about the algorithm, whether it's a true complaint or not. Every content creator bitches and moans about the algorithm 100%. So, you know, we do it publicly, and believe me when I say we do it privately. We go off privately, and it's everybody. I've talked to million subbed channels that are going to say the same thing. The problem with the algorithm is that YouTube right now, 500 hours of content are uploaded every single minute. So the algorithm is always trying to figure things out, push things up, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't notify everybody all the time. And it's a very frustrating system of which content creators are always left kind of going, shit, what are we going to do? How are we going to handle this? People aren't seeing the videos. That's how we make our money. Now, Gabby, I think, is also probably a millionaire, or at least a several $100,000 heir, whatever. So she's worth some money, so she's fine, but she still has the same frustrations the rest of us do. What pisses me off, though, is she made that complaint, and I think like YouTube like boosted one of her videos to like the trending. But then again, she's also done a lot of different content and kind of gone against her niche. And that's the thing with a lot of these creators, these million sub channels, that what it is like people go to them for a specific niche. And it's like, I do movie commentary, but if you think about it, if you really think about movie commentary right now, and what you see, what you get is Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Star Trek, couple of the franchises here and there, maybe, you know, whatever, right? But that's really about it. The tentpole ones get the most views. That's what people click on. So like when I do something, you know, like if I did a video talking about Beavis and Butthead coming back, it might do a little bit, but it won't do as much as like, you know, I criticized Doomcock, and that video did really well because his audience was coming in to shriek like dickless banshees. Oh my God, you criticized Doomcock. How dare you? I've been leaving dislike, and I'm just like, I don't care. Like, leave your dislike and fuck off. But that was that, like, that's the thing. Look at Doomcock. He has to lie to people in order to get them to click on his shit. He needs clickbait to do that. And it's usually Star Wars related, and it's always Star Wars is a dumpster fire. The algorithm pushes negativity. The algorithm rewards negativity because the dopamine hit that the audience gets off of that stuff is insane. So if Gabby is not doing stuff that's negative, creating a controversy would actually be the best thing for her because it would then drive engagement on her content, good or bad, and it would get people talking about Gabby, which ends up being a factor. So you have that to deal with. Now, as for her quitting Twitter, I have no idea. I just heard about it today. Now, as for Dr. Disrespect getting banned on Twitch, fuck if I know, dude. Like, I have no idea. Like, I don't know. They're not saying anything. He's not saying anything. They didn't come out and say that it was a mistake. So him getting booted off of Twitch is a pretty big deal. I just don't know why. I really have no idea why. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, let me just. Okay, a couple more super chats here. Deshaun says DC streaming service is shut down. Really? DC Universe is shut down? Is it really? Like, I know it's probably going away, to be honest with you. I think that. And then also, am I ready for the DC fandom? Yes, thank you for both super chats, by the way. Absolutely, Deshaun. 100% I'm ready for DC fandom. I want there to be the Snyder Cut trailer. I want to know about Harley Quinn season 3. I want to know about what's going to be going on. All things DC, especially Rocksteady, supposedly going to be talking about their first new game in 5 years, which is a Suicide Squad game, supposedly. Give me some Rocksteady. I love those guys as a developer. I think the Arkham Knight trilogy is amazing. And so, yeah, like, give me more of that. It's been 5 years since Batman Arkham Knight came out. How crazy is that? So yeah, give me more of that. I'm excited for DC fandom. There's going to be a lot there to talk about, a lot of live streams. I'm going to be live covering the hell out of it. I just signed up for my Comic-Con at home press credentials. I don't know what that means, but they were pretty adamant that I sign up for it. So who knows what that's going to give me at this point. So I'll be covering Comic-Con at home, from home, thankfully, which is going to be nice. And we'll get more information on that as that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm very excited for that one. Let's see here. Okay, hold on. Do I think that Fantastic Four will be a part of the MCU Phase 5? Yes, I do. I don't know what capacity, but I think that it will. An entire community is getting demonetized. Oh, right, man. Yeah, there's a lot of commentary channels that are getting hit. A lot of right-wing channels are just getting yeeted. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Again, I fully expect my other channel to get completely taken out because of some of the dumb crap that I said years ago. And everything. And plus, people have been trying to, like, yesterday I triggered a whole bunch of alt-righters because I laughed. I put out a GIF, the Jennifer Lawrence GIF, laughing GIF at this. It was a tweet about this alt-right, kind of like pro-white nationalist philosopher named Stefan Molyneux, which that's what he is. There's no arguing that with me. And he got booted off of YouTube, and he went on Twitch for an hour and he got booted off. And I just laughed at the way the tweet was phrased, but it triggered so many people. So to be a bit of a dick, I just kind of like argued with them all afternoon. It happens. Could there be a big Spider-Man announcement at Comic-Con? I doubt it. I don't know. I don't think so. They said, maybe they're going to talk about when the production is going to start, which I'm hearing September. Do I like dark or milk chocolate? I'm more of a milk chocolate kind of guy. Let's see here. Jody's Corner lies for clickbait. Yes, he does. What do I think about Japan fighting against American censorship? I think that's good, man. I believe in the art from the artist, and it's but at the same time, again, it's like, it's such a weird thing to say, and I'll admit there's a bit of hypocrisy there on my end. I support the art coming from the artist, but then I kind of laugh at an alt-righter getting booted because his content is art to somebody. And we have to kind of approach it like that. It's a hypocritical take to make. I will fully admit. But I think there's been a lot of censorship from the West for some reason. It's like, come on, man. I don't want to see kids in sexually compromising positions. I really hate that about anime games. I just don't play them. I just don't play them. Like that to me, that stuff's disgusting. But I just don't engage with it. If it's legal, it's legal, but I don't think it's legal in the States. But then again, I don't know. It all just depends. I think I need the specifics. Let's see here. Do I think I'm going to check out that online series? You sent me the Broken and the Bad. Oh yeah, Brian. I will. So, what this is, guys, is Skywalker Brian sent me this trailer. Giancarlo Esposito is doing this 6-part documentary series called Broken and the Bad, and it's basically about the methamphetamine drug trade and like the people that are like in it. So it's taking like the stuff that inspired Breaking Bad and looking at it through a realistic lens of like what actually it is. It looks really interesting. So I want to see that. Okay, let's see here. All right. So the red comment says the group chat for my film class is posting that the sequel trilogy will be rebooted article and you face palm so hard. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about when I say that this stuff is dangerous because people run with it. And this is where Doomcock is like, he don't care. I was on Max's live stream last night and the Echo Base Network guys were trying to defend him, but they admitted that it's just entertainment. Let me show you guys. I got to show you guys this take. I have to show you guys this take because there is, oh my God, hold on. I got to find you this thing. So I got into it with a whole bunch of Doomcock idiots yesterday, right? As I'm calling their audience, his fan base, I call them Doomcunts because I figured they just like to be pounded by the Doomcock, because they believe it. They just like, if there was a GIF representation of what I feel Doomcock does to his audience, it's probably, let me see if I can find it. I had a bit of I had a bit, I did have a bit of a joke to make off this one. Let me just do this one here and, oh God damn it. Hold on. There we go. I'm just gonna, when I think about the audience, when I think about his audience and I think about everything else, I kind of think it's like a bit like this, it's just like, it's the Skittles jizz. He just continuously like, they just eat it up like Skittles right in the mouth. That's how I kind of view that anyway. All right, let me find that. Let me find the tweet that I was talking about because I came across this guy yesterday. I was really surprised with how ridiculous it sounded, and the thing is that this guy, he's trying to double down on this too, right? He's really trying to double down on this. So this is an actual Fandom Menace guy. Okay, so he got mad at me. He got mad at me for saying like, what did I say here? I said, talking about like the Doomcock video about the sequel trilogy being rebooted. I said, if it's not an outright direct lie, then it's a lie by omission. He says if he's been fed bad information before, but he still runs these types of videos, then he doesn't actually care about being factual, which is by definition a lie. So then this guy here, Mr. Media Theory, who's clearly, a Fandom Menace moron, says, garbage take. It's called entertainment. Who cares if it's true or not? Oh, I forgot I was talking to Matt Jarbo. Videos have to be true. YouTuber on the case. Get over it. Yeah, this isn't like a satirical take. This is legitimately how he feels. So I said, wait a minute. Are you making an argument against factual videos? That take is the most ridiculous thing I've heard in a long time, and quite frankly, I am stupider for it, which again is true. When you think about it from that perspective, and this is the defense. This is the cuckery defense, the simp defense that comes out when someone like Geeks and Gamers and Doomcock and Nerdrotic and all those morons, who are morons, by the way, they make up crap constantly. And when they're called out for it, their audience comes and they're like, if they try to argue, well, it's rumors. They say that it's rumors. It's not real. Oh, okay, fine. But then you kind of call them on that a little bit. And then they start moving around and moving the goalpost. They always move the goalpost because they have no real argument, because they live in this weird fantasy world of make-believe and bullshit where everything's, like sunshine, rainbows, and blowjobs, provided that it's, that they hate something that they can attach it to. So they do this, right? And that's a lot of what it is. That's a lot of what it boils down to. And it's so funny to engage with these people because they are so devoid of reality. They're so detached from reality that they don't actually know what's going on in the industry. They only know what these quote unquote thought leaders tell them. But these quote unquote thought leaders will openly admit to like hyperbolizing and sensationalizing information in order to make money, which is in essence a lie to your audience. You are bamboozling, you are swindling, you are defrauding your audience who are coming to you for intellectually sound content, for factually based hot takes, if anything, at the bare minimum. And they don't get that. So they're being lied to constantly, but they've been conditioned and brainwashed into becoming these shields and these guards and these simps. And to me, it's exceptionally funny to see because I think some of them like will eventually kind of figure it out and get away from it. And I've talked to like a whole bunch of like Fandom Menace expats that are like, oh my God, I was totally like, wow, I thought they were real. I thought these guys were legit. They're not legit. They found a grift that works. So they continuously push the grift, and that's how they make their money. Here's the thing. They don't want Star Wars to be good. They don't want Star Trek to be good. They don't want anything to be good. Because if things are good, they don't have anything to get upset about. And when they don't have anything to get upset about, they don't have anything to get their audience upset about. They don't have anything to get their audience triggered by. So then their audience will then go to them for that constant dopamine hit. If anything, they are almost, the best way to describe this would be they are like mentally abusing their audience by gaslighting them into believing things that aren't true in order to manipulate their emotions to make them feel like they have to go to them for emotional validation on these topics. I mean, it's one of the craziest things I've ever fucking seen. And of course, again, any criticism is met with, oh, well, you're just a hater or you're just jealous. It's like, no, you don't have an actual argument. You know, Jessie Milestone tried coming at me yesterday over this too. It was so funny. She's like, oh, M. Jarbo's going at it again. I'm all like, you know, she's all trying to attack me for view counts on the channel. I'm like, have you looked at your stuff? Like, your channel's dead too. Don't even freaking come at me with that nonsense. Right? But she has to run defense. She has to sit there and be the goalie. She's got to protect it because that's what her grift is made of. Her grift is a lie. So she has to protect it. She has to protect the tribe. It's so, and then all the rest of them come on in and they're all, no, no, no. And it's like, whatever, guys, you have no argument. And this is what we deal with when it comes to the Fandom Menace. So anyway, that was a long-winded rant to say they're all full of shit. Okay, let's see here. They have to sell the idea that they're better than the option and to buy their IGG books. Yeah, that's true. Your friend has been fed so much of the Fandom Menace. Yeah, I have friends who like have talked about that shit too. You know, because I get friends who know that I talk about Hollywood, and then they'll send me stuff that comes out of the Fandom Menace. I'm like, that's not true. You know, like even the Star Wars trilogy getting sequel trilogy getting booted. Midnight's Edge did a video on this, right? Like, come the hell on, man. Andre, he knows it's not real. I haven't watched the video yet, but it's like to even entertain it as being legitimate validates it in the eyes of many, even if they kind of go, well, I'm not too sure if it's going to be real. To treat it as valid gives it that support. So, as always, the Fandom Menace lies to you. They lie to you frequently. They lie to you often. And they lie to you because you let them. And the same thing with like Andy Signore and Jody's Corner over the Snyder Cut. They were trying to pull directly from the playbook. You know, so you have to laugh when that guy goes, oh, but the videos have to be factual. Yeah. Just, you know, hey, call me a dick. Call me a stickler for the truth. What can I say? Thoughts on the Chase Rice concert backlash? I don't even know who is Chase Rice? I don't even know what that is. Who is more popular, Deadpool or Harley Quinn? Harley Quinn is. If we're talking merchandise sales, absolutely Harley Quinn. But Deadpool is definitely valid on the merch sales too, which is one of the reasons why I don't know why Disney, like Feige, hasn't greenlit Daredevil 3. Oh, no, this is funny. I saw an article pop up yesterday that said like, oh, Deadpool 3 tease coming in from like Bob Iger. And I guess Iger updated his Twitter banner image to have a whole bunch of Disney characters, and like Deadpool was in there. They do care about Deadpool. It's a money-making franchise. They're probably just trying to figure out the best time to put it out, but we do know that Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick and Ryan Reynolds are actively working on it. Like I said, I think the Hal Jordan rumor that was getting tossed around was a negotiation tactic. So, let's see here. It sounds like the Phantom Menace is the Fox News of the SA. Yes, that's very true. That's very true. Let's see here. Why do people think that The Conjuring 3 won't make its September release date? I don't think anything's going to come out for a while, man. Which sucks because, like, I'm starved for content. I think that's why Sony said today they're working on R-rated animated movies because they can do all the stuff from home. So hey, we could see a rebirth in adult animation, right? Who can we find out who owns the heavy metal rights and go, hey, do more heavy metal, right? Rockin' tunes, hardcore epic action, and chicks with gigantic bazungas. I think that would be acceptable. maybe not the last part. Let's see here. Everyone on YouTube thinks Deadpool is not happening. Yeah, because they listen to fucking Rob Liefeld. Look, Mr. I Can't Draw Feet isn't in the mix. He's out. He's out of the game. He's out of this. Once Feige took over, Rob Liefeld was out. So when he's like, I don't know what's going on. He doesn't actively know what's going on. Or I should say he, more accurately, he's not involved. Is really what it boils down to. So, do I think that movie theaters are done for good? No. They're gonna look. For one, right now drive-ins are popping up. Right, they're doing really good, which is awesome because I worked at a drive-in and I'm glad that my drive-in has people that are coming into it. The friend of mine who passed away today. Oops. Okay, that still works. What the hell did I hit? Anyway, the friend of mine who passed away today worked at the drive-in with me, and he still worked there. So that part sucks. But no, the drive-ins will do better, and then the theaters, what they're going to have to do. And I've talked about this, and I don't know if they've implemented similar situations or not. Like, I'll give you an example. So right now, the county I live in is in phase 3. So what that means is 75% capacity. So there's still social distancing. Masks are still required if you're not going to be sitting down at a table and eating. So what they're going to probably have to do is limit capacity in these theaters, which means you're going to have, like, yes, reduced theater size. But on the alternate, what you do is you then have the movie playing in more auditoriums. With everything being digital now, that's not hard to do. Most of these movies, especially the big cineplexes, are just run off of a server. And you can run multiple copies of it at once. So it's perfectly fine. You can easily do it. Or if you need to ingest the movie into the digital projector, again, you can do multiple ingestations. And you can fit a number of movies on the hard drive of one of those digital projectors. Again, I know this because my drive-in theater is digital projection, has been since 2012. And, that's my jam. That's my world, right? So they could do that, and they just spread it out. They put, if you have a 12 cinema theater, then you run maybe 4 movies at max. Each one is in 3 different auditoriums. Yeah, you're not making as much by having as many movies playing as often, but you can still keep a steady flow of people coming in that want to see, and they will go and they will do social distancing and they'll wear masks and they'll come in and then they'll do it. And you still have money. And what you do at that point is you show the public that you're taking this seriously enough in order to be able to get them to trust you again. And when they start to trust you again, and when we get the vaccine again, movie theaters will be in a position to offer up very similar services to what it did before. And they can find themselves on the path back to normalcy. It's just going to take time. And time, unfortunately, is not something that a lot of people have. At least what they think that they don't have. They actually do. But, these companies, when I say time, it's like, rent and they're going to have to, there's going to be a lot of insurance payouts and honestly, Hollywood studios are going to have to figure out a real good way to make it to make it worthwhile for them at this point. Let's see here. Okay. Lunith here says movie theaters reopen in Queensland, Australia today. Well, fuck you. I'm kidding. That's awesome. Let's see. Hold on. Do I watch World Class Bullshitters? No, I don't, because I don't. I mean, I think Jeff from World Class Bullshitters hyperbolizes a lot. I don't necessarily like his takes, but I don't have anything against the guy. Let's see here. Love, Death, and Robots was inspired by heavy metal. Love, Death, and Robots was awesome. Awesome stuff. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so let's see. If Disney didn't reboot the divisive prequel trilogy that they didn't produce, then they definitely won't reboot their own trilogy. Well, the thing is, Red Comet, the prequel trilogy now it has had a long time, between 15 and 20 years to age. And the people who grew up with it like it. So the key is to come back then in 15 to 20 years. 15 years from now, when we're like almost 2 decades past The Force Awakens, and the kids who are alive now who grew up watching these movies, what they think about it. Because think about it like this. I'm 38, so I grew up with Star Wars. But there were people like my grandparents, they didn't like Star Wars. Wasn't for them, So it's like there's always going to be people who don't like it. And there's always going to be people out there who do like it, and it's different age groups. So we have to wait and see how it goes. What's going on with schools reopening? Oh, hell if I know, dude. I have no idea what's going on with schools reopening. It could be practically, my stepmom works in the school district, and she was telling me that they're supposed to open in the fall. They're hoping to open in the fall, but they're going to probably have to make all the kids wear masks, and that's going to be a pain in the ass. Let's see here. The foreskin. All right. Look, I give you mad props. I give you mad props on that name, dude. I give you mad props on that. That throws me off. Foreskin Awakens, you cheeky fucker. Says, I think even though the virus, theaters would be done eventually. Amazon will destroy most brick and mortar stores too. Yeah, you're not wrong. But the thing is though, people will always justify entertainment, and they're going to justify instant gratitude entertainment. And pardon me. They're not, there's always going to be a need for brick and mortar. There's always going to be a need for IRL things. That is, unless we got VR with like kick-ass, sound systems and whatnot, and you could put on a VR helmet and lay back and watch the new movie. That'd be pretty cool. But, IMAX is releasing a TV, by the way. IMAX is releasing a TV. But I don't think theaters are done. I think at this point now, with digital media and the scrubbing of certain things off of certain episodes, and the changing of certain things, and how people are losing their mind over what's deemed as old problematic content. Never mind streaming services that, have these properties that have the rights spread across multiple services. So one movie will jump from one service to another, to another, to another. People like physical media. And physical media is going to see, I think, a massive resurgence in the wake of COVID. Physical or digital, but even then, I think physical is going to be going pretty strong, which actually makes me kind of happy, because I do really want to get back into doing Blu-ray therapy. I need to figure out how to do it again. Maybe not do it every week, maybe once a month or something. But it's been asked of me to bring back Blu-ray therapy, so we'll have to wait and see. Okay. The Force is strong. Wrong with you? All right. Hold on. Let me. Hold on. Should you try this name on Tinder? Yes, dude. 100% post your results. 100% post your results. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to go back. Okay. Thoughts on Disney changing Splash Mountain? I'm not. Yeah, I think that's dumb. I do. I think it's dumb. I get why they want to. I get it, right? I don't know if Princess and the Frog is going to be a good substitution for that. I mean, think what you will about Song of the South, like, but you go to Splash Mountain. Yes, Splash Mountain is based on Song of the South, but most kids, most people have never seen Song of the South because Disney tries to hide from it. Yet they kept Splash Mountain going. So why not just do something else? Why not just do a Splash Mountain movie and repurpose the characters that are in Splash Mountain the ride and repurpose them for something that is new and maybe more inclusive and super not what it was, even though a lot of people out there don't view a Song of the South as being as racist as others do. But I don't know if giving it to the Princess and the Frog is going to be the right move. Now, will I go check it out? Oh yeah, I do, 100%. For one, I love Princess and the Frog. It is one of my favorite Disney animated films. 2D, I love when they were like, oh, we're going to do 2D animation. It's going to be a black princess in New Orleans. I looked at my buddy. I'm like, dude, we are so there opening night. And we did. Or maybe opening weekend, but we did. We saw him. So, and I just watched it again the other day too. So it's a fucking awesome movie. So you have all that stuff. And I just, again, Disney is like, everyone's doing this proactively so they don't get canceled. That's all it is. That's all it is. Let's see here. Okay, hold on. Grace, I saw something about Grace Randolph. Grace Randolph saying Disney has casting call for Princess and the Frog live action is real. No. For one, there's no productions happening right now. Two, they're not doing a casting call unless it's a digital casting call, which is what it's going to have to be due to COVID. Three, Disney, I mean, maybe they are. Maybe they are. They did say there's going to be the live action Robin Hood, like that's going to be coming to Disney Plus. Maybe they're casting it for Disney Plus. Maybe right now they're like, look, right now is the time to do a live action Princess and the Frog, and we'll make $1 billion on that. It's an easy movie to remake. So when it's over, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel about a live action Princess and the Frog. I just don't know, because you don't see much of Tiana as a person in that movie. She's the frog most of the time. It works well as an animated. I think it's perfect as an animated movie. Like going into live action on that one, like I don't want to see a live action Little Mermaid. I did watch the live action Jungle Book for the first time the other day. That was actually pretty good. Even though I do feel like the design for Baloo was a little bit like, okay. But I thought Bagheera was great. And I thought Shere Khan was great. And then I watched the animated Jungle Book. And I'll tell you this though, no. Christopher Walken as King Louie though, that was fucking awesome. That was great. Because for one, it's Christopher Walken singing, which is always fantastic. And two, it was like, it was menacing as hell. And I really appreciated that. I actually really enjoyed the Jungle Book. I liked it better than Lion King. I did not care for the Lion King remake because I mean, I will say the best thing about the Lion King remake is it was the segue, or it was the lead-in to the Mandalorian technology. So that was cool with me. Nate says Blu-ray therapy is fun. Yes, I agree. What do I think is the best Campia rant? The one where he went off on Collider. Right? Like you could tell when he went off on Collider and that rant and he was mad, he took his wife up there and tried to get her pregnant. You can tell. He was like rock hard after that. He's like, Aaron, get upstairs. It's baby Campia time. Boing, 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 boing. That's what it was. Let's see here. Campia says physical media is done for it. No, it's not. It's not. Too many people out there still buy it, man. Okay, look. They're still manufacturing DVDs. They're still manufacturing DVDs of current movies. All right. Once the DVD format goes away, once that is done for, then we can talk. But in the meantime, if they're still manufacturing actual DVDs, it is not going everywhere. Not everywhere in the world has got Blu-ray. But then but the 4K is like a thing too. So, okay, hold on. Let me go. Let me get up there. What are my thoughts on BioShock? Yeah, I like BioShock. It's a good series. It's a good series. I didn't care for BioShock Infinite. Dug the story. Didn't really care for the world or the gameplay. I thought the funny thing was like everyone's like, "Oh my god, Elizabeth is such a good character." I'm like, "Dude, she's a walking vending machine. What are you talking about?" She's like, Booker. I found random ammunition during this massive gunfight. here. And she's like halfway across the map and just like homing torpedo, boop, 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 just hits you with like, either money. She finds money, or she finds like shotgun shells, or like, whatever. I did like I should say I liked the setting of Infinite. But I did feel like the world itself was nowhere near as beautiful and textured and well designed as the first one. Cause the first one in my mind is like a fucking godsend. And the second one I thought was fun too. But then I understand why, Ken Levine and doing BioShock Infinite. But now are they working on BioShock 4? They're doing something with Ken Levine. Let's see. All right. $2 super chat from LRAC Reacts. Thank you very much, sir. Would love a live action Hercules remake. Yeah. That's what they're doing. They are doing a live action Hercules remake, but it's produced by the Russo bros, and they're not doing a 1-to-1 remake from the animated movie. They're doing like, it's going to be like that Rock movie from 2009, I think, or whenever The Rock did Hercules that crashed and burned in the summer box office. Once again, proving my point that The Rock is not a movie star. And I'm not making that up either. The Rock is not a movie star. Go look at his library of work for what's successful and what's not. And it's never anything he does himself. It's always an ensemble that does well. Anyway, but it's going to be like the stories of, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so it's going to be Heracles. They don't say Hercules. They say Heracles. Heracles is how they pronounce it in ancient Greece. Instead of saying Socrates, it's Socrates. Again, I've been really into Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like, holy crap, that game I love. I just love the world. I just love the story. And I've been like, I live in Olympia, Washington. Okay. So like, ancient Olympics, whatever. Right. And so there's a road here, Delphi Road, and everyone calls it Delphi. And then I'm playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and they talk about Delphi. And then I'm driving, and I'm like, I must turn up Delphi Road. I am Lexios, the eagle bearer. So I start like talking in this like stupid Assassin's Creed Odyssey Greek accent that is like I'm some kind of like mythical badass and shit. I'm not. I'm a pudgy fat dude, fat white guy. What can I say? Let's see here. You can't replace James Woods as Hades. That is true. I let him great. Let's see. The nightmare scene tops the warehouse scene in BVS. Agree or I'm going to disagree. Okay. Allow me. Okay. You know what? I can kind of agree and disagree at the same time. So I'll break down both options here. One, the nightmare sequence in BVS. Fuck yes. I want to see more from that. I think we're going to get a little bit more in Justice League, maybe, because obviously it's leading to that, which is cool. I thought that was a good story setup, and I really enjoyed when like Superman lands, like all the dudes not like they fucking like they kneel and shit. It was dark and I liked it. But that Batman warehouse fight scene, oh, dude, come on, man. Like Martha's not dying tonight, and then just like goes on in and he just like whoops the shit out of everybody. It was like watching a live action Arkham Asylum, fight scene and shit. It was so good. The stunt choreography on that was amazing. It was like I still remember seeing that in the theater for the first time and going like, holy shit, and like everyone just in the theater loving that. Like that scene is dope as hell, man. Now you guys make me want to go watch BVS the Ultimate Edition, none of that fucking shitty theatrical cut, which is what HBO Max has. Why does HBO Max have the Ultimate? It does not have the Ultimate cut. They got the sucker cunt. They got the Sucker Punch extended edition on there, right? Like the director's cut of Sucker Punch on HBO Max, which is cool. But like they don't got the Ultimate of fucking BVS, man. And also, here's my question, just random off the top question. Why wasn't there ever, and I mean this ever, why wasn't there ever a extended edition of Man of Steel? Not that I think it needs it. I think in itself, in its own right, it's a well done movie. So let's see here. Let me look through here. Okay, so Elrac says, I'm waiting for God of War 5. I think they're going to announce that. I wish we could mix Snyder action with Nolan, everything else. That would be interesting. I mean, I'll tell you this, man. If they could pull this off, this would be awesome. Christopher Nolan, written and directed, okay, but Zack Snyder does the cinematography. Because that dude's got an amazing visual style. Now, they might clash, which is a problem. because you have two prolific directors. And yes, I'm calling Zack Snyder a prolific director. Eat me if you don't agree. All right. They're both prolific directors in my opinion. And honestly, I would argue go as far as to say that while Nolan's movies are more cerebral, Snyder's films are far more emotional and philosophical. So and I prefer Snyder films to Nolan films mostly because of my taste in movies. That being said, The Prestige, ooh, amazing. Memento, it's good, but a one-time watch. It really is. Insomnia, which was, I think, Nolan's first movie. No, it was the first movie past Memento. That was the one with Al Pacino and Robin Williams. That was actually a remake of a 1997 Swedish film, which I actually rented because I saw it reviewed on Siskel and Ebert back in the day, and I worked at Hollywood Video, and we got it in Hollywood Video, and I rented it, and I watched it, and it was really good. And then I see the trailer for Insomnia, starring Al Pacino and Robin Williams, and I'm like, that movie looks really fucking familiar. Like, really fucking familiar. And then I'm watching it, and there's a scene where Pacino has to kill a dog, and I'm like, it is the fucking movie that I saw like 7 years ago. Whatever, like 6 years ago or whatever the fuck it was. Like, I've seen this movie. Not as good as other stuff that Nolan has done, but it was a studio film, so it is what it is. But Batman Begins is legitimately great. And honestly, The Dark Knight is one of the best films flat out ever made, especially for IMAX. Like, holy shit. So, I can't complain about Nolan. And Interstellar, up until the last 20 minutes, I think is a godsend of a movie, but I hate the ending. I despise the ending of Interstellar. It went from hard science fiction to like fucking Kubrick's 2001. And it just didn't work. You know what I mean? It just didn't work. That whole weird thing of like him being his daughter's ghost. I'm just, oh my God, it just wasn't good. That was a misfire of epic proportions. But if they release Interstellar in theaters before Tenet, I will go see Interstellar again. If they release Inception, I'll go see Inception again. I do love Inception. And yeah. And again, I think it's entirely possible that before Man of Steel or before Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out, it's entirely possible that Warner's will re-release Man of Steel and BVS Ultimate Edition in theaters to kind of like get the public awareness up about the Snyder Cut. And if they release those in theaters again, you bet your fucking ass I'm going to go see them. 100%. Do I see VHS making a comeback? Well, no, but I do see the point of view found footage or like the short little VHS compilation films that they've done. Those could continue living on. Let's see. Okay. I think what you want is a Snyder directed with Larry Fong cinematography script approved by Nolan. Yeah. Okay, fine. Yes. But I want Snyder and Larry Fong together. That is true. Have I heard of the Adult Swim Summer Showdown? I haven't. Have not. Let's see here. Okay. Did I hear about some Josh Trank? That some fans were attacking him for Fan 4. Well, people have been attacking him over Fantastic Four for a long time. So is that. If Christopher Nolan was to direct a horror film, what kind would it be? Okay. Hear me out on this one. All right. I know everybody wants Guillermo del Toro to tackle Lovecraft. I get that, right? From a monster perspective, del Toro would be the guy to do it. But think about the cerebral nature of the Elder Gods, of Cthulhu, of what we kind of perceive Lovecraft to be in regards to the gothic nature of that horror. Not only that, but the macabre nature of that horror, and how people revere Lovecraft and the type of fear, the deep-seated fear that could end up coming from a good Call of Cthulhu movie. I think Christopher Nolan could be the director to pull off a Call of Cthulhu film, because I think he would, because again, I view Lovecraftian horror as being more cerebral. That might sound weird, and maybe I'm completely wrong and I'm just interpreting it wrong in my brain, but I always kind of looked at it as being a bit more cerebral. And I think that Nolan is very good at tapping into that mindset. I think he's really good at kind of tapping into like what's beneath the surface and really tinkering around in there. Inception was really good with that. The Prestige was really good at that. Inception was really good at that. I might have said Inception twice. Tenet looks like it's going to be pretty good at that one. So it's Memento was really good at playing with the mind, playing with the audience. and Lovecraftian type horror also toys with the audience, I think. And I thinking about it, that's the first thing that came to my mind. So if you guys think that Nolan could do a good Cthulhu film, let me let me know. I just saw this one here. Uwe Boll should direct Lovecraft. Go away, Garrick. The fuck's wrong with you? I'd watch it in a heartbeat. I'd watch it in a fucking heartbeat. I tried to get Uwe Boll to let me interview him about his video game movies a while back. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to talk about the video game movies, but I don't want to attack him over it. Like, I don't want to attack him over it. I want to actually sit down and talk to Uwe Boll about his movies from a curiosity perspective, just to legitimately kind of get into his head over these things. I don't want to attack him. I've seen like the vast majority of them. I saw a lot of them in theaters. I paid money to go see Blood Rain. Yeah. Yeah. I paid money to go see House of the Dead. I paid money to go see Alone in the Dark. I paid money to go see, what was it? In the Name of the King, the Dungeon Siege Tale, right? That one. And that was actually pretty good. Actually, I like that one. I paid money to see Uwe Boll films. So, I've put my dues in. I want to go see this. Could Borat be made today? The answer to that is no. Borat could not be made today. Borat is way too it's way too raunchy for that, It's also way too racist and way too sexual, to be fair. It's just it was funnier than shit, dude. I fucking love Borat. I think it's Sacha Baron Cohen's best work, to be honest with you. And I think that I think he's got enough good faith with people that he could probably like pull it off. He could probably pull it off and everything else. So, it's one of those things where it's like, you have to just kind of like go, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it. Okay. Wow. I just looked that I put out a Twitter video earlier talking about my friend dying, and it's got about 15,000 views. Like, holy shit. I didn't expect that. That's crazy. I'm honored that people would share it. That's pretty cool. Okay. I paid for X versus Sever? No, Chan. I did not pay for X versus Sever. I worked at a drive-in theater and we got X versus Sever because it's a Warner Brothers movie, and we pretty much got every Warner Brothers movie. I remember though going to Comic-Con in 2002 and seeing the panel for X versus Sever, or it might have been 2003. I think it was 2002, with Antonio Banderas and Lucy Liu showing up to talk about the movie. Ray Park was there talking about the movie. Obviously, I was excited because I'm like, holy shit, that's Darth Maul and Toad from X-Men. And they go, oh yeah, it was an R-rated movie, and the movie had no reason to be rated R. Had no reason whatsoever to be rated R. It's not even a good movie, but we had it at the theater and I watched it. Inhuman Quake says, I own Catwoman on DVD. No, we had Catwoman at the theater. I watched it one time. The movie was so bad. My boss came over to me and like wanted to talk to me as I was watching it from my car. And normally if he does that, I give him shit because I'm like, dude, I'm watching the movie. What the fuck you doing? And then he's all like, I didn't care. So I just looked at him and said, hey, what's up, dude? And I like lit a cigarette. We chatted for 20 minutes while finishing the movie. It was so bad. I didn't even care. Let's see here. Who would I choose to direct Wizards of Gore? I don't even know what that is. So I'm just going to say Eli Roth. What did I think of Bruno and the Dictator? Bruno, I didn't think was that good. I think all the funny stuff was in the trailer. Outside of the Harrison Ford joke. But it was like the whole thing when he's like, he goes on that talk show. You could tell it was a stage talk show. This is my adopted black son, OJ. You could tell it was all fake. It was more, Borat was like kind of like this flash in the pan, perfect environment situation where, he was in the American South and he was playing it up like a documentary and they were really into it. Bruno took on Hollywood, which is, it's funny to do, but it just is just coming off of Borat. It's hard to do. So then he did The Dictator, which I didn't think was like fucking funny at all. Like I saw that movie opening weekend because of course, Sacha Baron Cohen in a new movie. The scene, like I think the only scene I fucking lost it at with that movie, and this has been 8 years, so I'm fine with that, spoiling this. But like the scene at the end when she's giving birth and he like, there's a shot from like inside the uterus when like he reaches his hand in and like pulls the baby out. But they have a reverse shot of like inside the uterus, and you're like, wait, what? Like it just hits you out of fucking nowhere. I think I died laughing at that. And then other than that, I saw it one time. That particular weekend, I saw, this is true. I saw Battleship, The Dictator, and Dark Shadows. Dark Shadows had opened a week earlier or a week or two earlier. And then on the Monday after that weekend, I went and saw Cabin in the Woods. I love Cabin in the Woods. I think Cabin in the Woods is great. They had already been out for a little while by the time I got to go see it. I saw it at a discount movie theater. And then with a friend of mine, we both loved it. But I'll tell you this though, Battleship 2012, fucking that was a good movie. I don't give a shit what anyone says. I think Peter Berg knocked it out of the park for what it was supposed to be. I think the critics hated it. I think the audience who actually went to go see it liked it. And I'm okay with them not doing a sequel to it, to be honest with you. But I really, really liked Battleship. I thought it was just a lot of fun. And I'm probably wrong on that one. Let's see here. Okay, what did I think of the Sweeney Todd movie? It was good. I don't really care for like those kind of like, I don't know. I mean, it was all right. It wasn't the best thing I'd ever seen. Let's see here. My thoughts on the Disney Plus summer movie nights. I don't know what it is in Human Quake. I don't know what that is. So you have to let me know. Let's see here. Do I think the Oscars should get best stunt work category? Yes. Oh, 100%, dude. Stunt work is performance work. And that's just dangerous. I don't know why there's not like, if like, oh, we have costume design, like you pinned a mitten on a vest, nominated. But it's like, dude pours, guy gets lit on fire and fired through a cannon into a vat of nacho cheese. Academy don't care, right? Way more work and prep work goes into making sure that shit looks legitimately real. But like I said, you pin a pair of mittens on a vest, and that apparently is Academy worthy. Let's see here. Nice Guys is a perfect merger of Abbott and Costello with a modern comedy. I only saw The Nice Guys once. I watched it with my two younger brothers. They weren't into it, and I have a weird thing where I feed off the energy of the people I'm watching a movie with. So it's like if they don't like it, I have so much fucking trouble getting into it. It's so weird. That happened with The Dark Knight Rises too. The people I saw it with, we went to a midnight show. They were laughing and snickering at it all the way through, and it just took me out of the movie. And I already didn't like it, elements of it enough myself to where I haven't gone back and watched it again. And I should. I know it's on HBO Max, and I should pop it on and watch it one night. But I just like, I need to watch Nice Guys again because I think Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Well, okay, I'll put it like this. If I've already seen the movie and somebody else doesn't like it, that doesn't bother me. But when I'm watching it for the first time, like this is why I love theaters. When I'm watching it for the first time and there's that crowd experience with something and everyone's getting into it, man, that's fucking great. Like when I saw Solo at the end of Solo, when like the mall cameo happened, I lost my shit in the theater. I was like literally making audible noises of like, no, no. I'm like nudging my girlfriend. I'm like, they didn't. And she's like, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, no, but babe, it's fucking Maul. She's like, I don't fucking care. I'm like, no, but it's Maul. And then she's like, but wait, isn't he dead? I'm like, yeah, that's the fucking point. God damn it. So let's see here. Ricardo Torres as Mr. Jarbo, would you consider yourself an empath since your peers affect your enjoyment of a film? Yeah, in some cases. But it's only for things I really like. You know what I mean? Like, but see, this is also at a time when I hated going to see movies by myself. Now I go see them by myself quite often. So I have to then I have to then just do it for me. And so now it's a little bit different, right? Now it's a bit different. But like on something like a comic book movie, like a Batman movie. Okay, you know what? Let me explain this. Maybe this will enlighten people a bit more. So, okay, when I worked at the drive-in, those of us who worked on the lot, right? Because you had the snack bar and you had the lot. Those of us who worked on the lot, we would always watch movies together. Okay. And but it always wasn't like one time we'd watch movies. We would do this all the time, you know, because we only had 4 movies playing at once. So we oftentimes would all hang out and like watch the movie. We wouldn't always watch it all together at the same time, but we'd always come together afterward, or we'd come together while we're watching it, and we would all just talk about it. We'd enjoy it. We were a group of people that were really, really, really tight knit. And we all loved watching movies. And guess what? Here's the thing. We all enjoyed movies, good or bad. We would find good things about most movies. Most of the time, there'd be like a movie that critics would call shit. We would laugh at it, right? So like in the San Diego Union Tribune, when the one film critic would like give something 2 out of 4 stars, we would laugh that it's clearly better than what that fucking idiot thought. And we would, usually intend to enjoy the movie. I worked around people for a decade that fundamentally loved movies for movies, not the politics or anything else, but they just loved storytelling. They loved movies. And so being around that for as long as I was, you get this experience that I think a lot of people don't get. It's like having a tight knit group of friends that go see movies all the time. You guys kind of anticipate what you're going to like. You can have these discussions. You get into these discussions. They're a lot of fun. And I've been so desperate to recapture that since I left working there 5 years ago. And I have some friends I see movies with and whatnot occasionally up here, not as many as I did. And I've gotten used to seeing them by myself, but I always just want that group of people to be able to go and enjoy it with. And so like for me, when I'm with people that aren't my usual group and it's so, and I don't know them as well. And even my younger brothers, I didn't grow up with them. I mean, like we're just kind of like back then in 2016, we were just kind of reconnecting. So, like I'd see them every couple years sort of thing. And they were crashing at my apartment for the weekend in Portland. And we were hanging out, and it was just, like we don't have that vibe just yet. So that's kind of how it is. But for me, when I talk about like my love of movies, and people always like to give me shit. They go, "Oh, you have fucking terrible taste, Matt. Your fucking stupid takes are terrible. You're garbage. You're god awful. I fucking, whatever." I'm like, look, man, my experience is sitting down and watching Pirates of the fucking Caribbean 65 times in the summer of 2003 because we had it playing with Finding Nemo for 11 weeks, twice a night. And I watched it a lot. And guess what? I'm still not tired of the movie because I appreciate movies. I can appreciate something in a movie. And when I went to film school, it only amplified it because now I'm learning the process of making these films. Now I'm learning what goes into making these films. Now I'm looking at the set design. Now I'm looking at the editing. I'm listening for the score differently. I'm listening to it swell at certain scenes and become more somber in other scenes and how it impacts the moment. And I'm looking at like the script and how the script is formatted and whether or not I can figure out the ending, which pro tip, I usually can because scripts these days use terrible formatting in the same goddamn format in order to tell these stories. That's what I do. And that's why I like movies, because I just like losing myself in something. I like losing myself in its creation, losing myself in its story, losing myself in its setting, its music, its portrayal, its acting, whatever, man. If I can lose myself in something, I am more than happy with it. It could be mediocre shit. It could be a terrible fucking movie, but I will always, always, always look for what I think is the best possible thing to come into that or to come out of that. Because when I watch a movie, I know what goes into practically every facet of making it. And so I know how much time and effort and energy and blood, sweat, and tears goes to put what we see on the screen and to just diminish it the way that so many people tend to diminish movies, that they tend to attack film because they don't understand any of the concepts of what goes into it, whether it's the attempt at the philosophy of the film, the politics of the film, the acting, the nuance, the subtleties of performance, whatever, man. I look for those things and I feed on those things because that's what I love to do. That is what I love about the process of making movies. It's not just the finished product. It's getting hyped up over trying to tell an awesome story. It's getting hyped up over trying to make sure you've got your shots correct. It's what goes into the back end of these things, man. Like there are problems. Some movies are terrible. That's absolutely true. But I still go into it trying to find what I think is the absolute best version of that film. I go in there with every movie wanting to like it. That is the difference between me and so many other people. I go into every single movie hoping that it's good. That's why I went to go see Ghostbusters 2016. I had to review it for one, but I went in there and I hoped it was good. And I was praying that it was good. And I had my fingers crossed that I was wrong. And the movie starts and that 5-minute cold open was actually pretty decent. And as soon as that ended and the opening, theme song played and the title came up on the screen, I thought to myself, man, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've been wrong this whole time and I'm going to end up really liking this movie. Nope, it was terrible. But I still went in looking for things to like about it. And I do the same thing with The Last Jedi. When I think of The Last Jedi now, I try not to focus on the negative. I try to focus on what I enjoyed about the experience and what I enjoyed about the movie, because there were elements that I did like, outweighed by elements that I didn't. But I try to focus more on what I enjoyed. Same with Rise of Skywalker. Same with The Phantom Menace. It's like I try to focus on what I like, because that is what appeals to me. And then my hope and my goal is that when I talk about these things, that the passion I have for these, that I can convey it to a lot of people. Now, the problem though, and I'll admit this, the problem is that so many people out there, they don't know that about me. So they think I'm some kind of like idiot shill who just likes everything without ever understanding the 14 years I spent working for movie theaters. The fact that I lived and worked in LA. I've written and directed short films. I've written and directed feature films. I've done documentaries. I've worked as, sound. I've done lighting. I've done grip work. I've worked in this field the vast majority of my life. And it's something that I love and that I'm truly passionate about. And that is what I want to convey. I want to experience that passion and that love with other people. And I love that. Like I was on the Vodka stream, which is the Film Junkies channel, his live stream on Fridays. And we got into this like 2-hour discussion about the philosophy of Man of Steel and Batman v Superman and what it was that they were trying to convey. And it was such a great, enlightening, engrossing conversation that I had so much fun with, because we just broke down these movies, but we did it from a place of absolute love. And we didn't do it from a critical, this movie is terrible, let's shred it apart for 11 hours of just, a bunch of jagoffs on a fucking live stream, and just to get people angry. We did it from a place of wanting to talk about something that we actually enjoyed, which in my mind is not a waste of time. If I'm enjoying something, it's not a waste of time. If I'm spending 11 hours on a live stream bitching about a certain movie because it makes me so mad, it's not a good use of my time. It just isn't a good use of my time. I'd rather find a way to geek out. Like, for example, I don't know how many guys were here the other night. I'm kind of like way all over the place here. All right, Garrick, thanks for coming in, buddy. It's more or less like we had a guy on here, H. Bartz, the other night, and he called into the show, and we were talking about kung fu movies, and Bartz, he was super passionate about kung fu movies. And I know a little bit about kung fu movies. I don't know a lot, but I know a little bit. And I know the ones I've seen, and we're talking about that. And he's telling me a bunch of other things. And I'm asking him about certain movies, and he's giving me like history lessons on shit. And it was cool. It was cool because you had this guy throw out his passion. He had his passion for these movies. And he's getting to share his passion with me, a person who doesn't know much about these movies, but is so willing to learn and wanting to learn, because I am buying. Okay, there's a motivational speaker, I guess you call him that, a spiritual guidance counselor, or whatever you want to call him. His name is Dr. Wayne Dyer. He passed away a couple of years ago, which is unfortunate. You can agree or disagree with the philosophy of spirituality, whatever. but he says something that I fundamentally agree with. And he says, people buy your music, not your words. They buy your passion. And this guy, H. Bartz, was super passionate about these Kung Fu movies. And he told me in this, he said on the show, he's like, my friends never talk with me about these things. They never want to talk with me about these movies. But I did, because I had a legitimate interest. And I think the audience listening at the time had a bit of a legitimate interest. And so he hit me up and he asked me, hey, for like the next Trailer Park After Dark, can you talk about Kung Fu movies? And I'm like, dude, why don't we, in a couple of weeks or something like that, we'll do a Hollywood After Dark Trailer Park, but we'll do it all Kung Fu movies. And I'll have you come on and we'll just talk about Kung Fu movies, and we can look at Jackie Chan trailers, and we can look at Jet Li trailers and Donnie Yen and Bruce Lee or whatever else you want to show us, man. Like we'll make it a Kung Fu night, and we'll make it fun, and it will be just entertaining, and it will just be a good time to hang out and chill and have someone who doesn't have a platform but is super passionate about these type of movies, educate us on these types of films. Give us something to look forward to. Give us something to get excited about. And I think that at the end of the day is far more, there's Nate here says that was a good conversation about Kung Fu. Thank you. And I agree completely. That's the whole point. And that's the kind of thing I want to do. Look, it's super easy to dive into the negative here on YouTube. I do it. Okay. I do. I went after Doomcock yesterday because I thought, he's being dumb. And the thing is though, it's like, look, man, today's been a tough fucking day. I had to say goodbye to a good friend of mine. He died alone and, from COVID, they quarantined him and he died alone. And, it's like, it's so hard on the internet to not be pessimistic, cynical, nihilistic, narcissistic, and angry, because the internet drags you down. Social media drags you down, and movies are one of the only things I got that truly brings me joy outside of my children. My children are fantastic. I love them. They're amazing, but it's like, the movies have always filled me with joy and passion. So I want to try to find a way to share that with people. I want to find a way to share that. And especially on this platform where it's like super fucking difficult to do anything positive and have it have any kind of actual impact on anybody. That's the downside to it, is like, it's so hard to do. Look, I'll just say it. Look at the Fandom Menace. What do you see coming out of them that's really ever positive? Right? What do you see that comes out of most channels that are really positive? Not a lot. It ain't a lot. And that's a problem. That's a real big problem. So, social media, even YouTube, makes us angry. If it bleeds, it leads, and it just, after a while, man, it just fucking weighs on you. And it's always after you find out, like, whenever there's a loss in your life, you always question things. You always question how you want to do things, how you want to take your own life, how you want to take your own life, where you want to take your own life. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is like, I'd much rather spend the time just like talking with you guys. Cause I wasn't even going to do a stream tonight. I'd gone and like laid down in bed, and I turned on Netflix, and I was going to watch Unsolved Mysteries. I was going to watch the new season of Unsolved Mysteries, and it's something I really want to see. And then I just laid there for like 15 minutes, and I just didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to like be alone. And I just kind of like, I just kind of like, all right, I'll head over here. And I jumped on Mad Max Mandalorian stream for a few, and I thought, I'll fire up a stream for myself and they'll talk to everyone for a little bit. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And not everyone's going to be like me. Not everyone's had my experiences. It's everyone does it for their own reasons. It's very difficult to stay out of the shit. It really is. It's super difficult to stay out of the shit. And there's times I don't want to. There's times I absolutely want to dive in. I want to pull up my sleeves, put on my big wading fishing boots or whatever the fuck they're called, and then just get out there and battle. And there's times I do, and then as soon as it feels good in the moment, and then it's over, and I'm like, what the fuck was that whole point of that? What did it get me in the end? Nothing. Wasted my time. It's just so difficult. It's just so fucking difficult. And this platform doesn't make it any easier, I'll tell you that. So, but I'm hoping in the future, hoping going forward, I can find more things to like do that are more entertaining, that are more fun. And that's what I like to do, you know. And I appreciate that we got I've been on for an hour and a half. I didn't want to be on for longer than an hour, but I am. You know, and everyone, we've got 40 people here. That's great. You guys are taking part of your day to hang out, talk with me, listen to me ramble on, prattle on and shit. So I appreciate that. Let's see here. I'll answer a couple more questions and I'll take off. Ryan says, I'm sorry about your friend. Yeah, thank you very much, dude. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see here. Even the praise for the Mandalorian that comes from the fandom menace feels more like contrarian than anything else. Yeah, you have a point there. Ricardo says, my heart goes out to you for your loss. Sometime in June, I was in a similar situation. Yeah, man, I'm sorry for your loss too. That's terrible. Thank you very much. Yeah, Martin, I like making time for people, dude. I like dropping the links. People come on in. I just didn't really feel like tonight. I thought about doing it. I just didn't want to, you know, I just didn't, I wanted to be more of a one-way thing. If it makes sense, you know, I just wasn't really feeling it. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay. If I want to watch a good film, watch Curse of the Golden Flower. You know what, Elrac? I'll tell you what, when we do that Kung Fu night, dude, I'll make sure that trailer gets in there. All right. I'll make sure that trailer gets in that lineup. We'll do that. And I do want to do more of the Trailer Park After Dark. The Hollywood After Dark Trailer Park. I think it'd be pretty funny. Let's see here. What can Star Wars trilogy do to improve, differentiate from the last two trilogies, or what can it do? Take the franchise way far in the future is what you got to do. Take it super far in the future and go from there. You know, like just do that, and I think it'd be okay. That's what they would do. Anyway. I think I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. I'm starting to kind of like fall asleep and whatnot. I gotta go. I'm just gonna go kind of decompress in bed, and I'm gonna watch an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. No Robert Stack, you bastards, but apparently they kept the theme songs. That's pretty cool. Anyway, look, I really appreciate everyone coming in, everyone talking, everyone listening, everyone engaging. You guys are fantastic, and I'm looking forward to keeping this kind of stuff going. So. If you want to catch the replay of this particular video, it's going to be over on the Hollywood After Dark YouTube channel, the archive channel. So that will be up there in a few minutes because I'm kind of co-streaming it using StreamYard. And let's see, tomorrow night I might be on middle of the day tomorrow because I'm going to try to do more streams in like the middle of the day just because that's when I have time when my kids are asleep. And then I'm also trying to figure out the time to do like the true crime podcast because that's a lot of fun too. Especially today, there's a fucking huge story broke, and I was so out of it I couldn't cover it, and that pisses me off. But there's always tomorrow. All right, everyone, have yourself a great night. Thank you again, and stay safe, and just tell everyone you love them that you know, because you never know when it's going to be your time. So, all right, night.